Welcome to Construction Champions Podcast, where we are burning the house down and rebuilding it twice a week. I'm your host, Ron Nussbaum, and I am here to help you become the champion that you're meant to be. Along with our amazing guests along the way, we will provide you with the resources, the latest and greatest. You will sit down with disruptors in the construction industry. And my goal from day one has always been to change the mindset around the construction industry. No more where we let the 3% of bad apes dictate the entire reputation of our industry. Another amazing episode of Construction Champions Podcast where we're burning the house down twice a week. Every Monday and Thursday, you can find me on here, Ron Nussbaum, with an amazing guest. I know you guys aren't here to hear me just chit-chat it on up and talk about what my opinion is on things. You're here for the experts, and you're here to figure out how to be a construction champion. And that's what we're bringing you. And today is no different. Will, I'm super excited to have you here with us today.
Ron, great to be here. I love your energy at the start of the episode. It didn't blow me off my chair because I did some pre-work and watched a couple of episodes before I came on, but I hear that's happened to you before.
Yeah, it can kind of take people by surprise.
It's great. I think I need to learn a bit more of that energy myself with our podcast. Gets it started, right?
Well, I mean, I think we should I think this is exciting. It excites me. The construction industry excites me. I know what you're going to talk about excites me. And the fact that we get to come together to have an impact on an entire industry is just exciting.
Yeah. Well, it's infectious, which is good.
Well, why don't you take a minute, tell all the construction champions out there a little bit about yourself and what got you here to today?
Yeah, of course. I'm the head of marketing at the Association of Professional Builders. So APB, as we like to call ourselves, is a business coaching company, and we've helped thousands of builders across 5 different countries scale their companies profitably. I'm also the host of the Professional Builders Secrets podcast, which we're having you on soon as well, Ron. So looking forward to that. And before joining APB, I ran my own business for almost a decade. So I was a marketing consultant and had a marketing agency attached to that. And we helped over 30 small businesses basically establish their core marketing function. So marketing's my thing.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited to dive into that and ask you the $1 million question. And that is, what makes a construction champion?
Is communication chaos holding your construction business back? Emails, texts, and generic tools weren't built for your business. BuilderComs delivers a platform built for construction. Fully branded, custom workflows, and seamless integration, all designed to fix communication for good. From our free forever plan to your own custom solution, we make construction software not suck. Ready to transform your business? Book your free strategy call today.
Yeah, this kept me up at night a fair bit, actually. Last night I was tossing and turning going, what am I going to answer to that question? But I figured I'd just go back to what I typically do from a marketing perspective. And I jumped into ChatGPT and asked it what that it could come up with. I said, what makes a construction champion? And I won't go into all the details of what it came out with because it came out with 10 bullet points, which I thought was a bit excessive. But the final point it made, I thought was a really succinct way to summarize what makes a construction champion. So it said, becoming a construction champion means more than just completing projects. It's about leading a thriving business and creating a positive impact on the lives of employees, clients, and the community. So I couldn't have said it better myself.
No, that's amazing. And I've never done that. I use ChatGPT daily and I never asked it that question. That is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, we obviously use it for a range of different things, and it's if you use it in the wrong way, ChatGPT, it can actually, it's kind of whatever you put in, what you get out. So if you put poor content in and poor information in, you're likely to get poor information out. But if you give it really clear and specific instructions, it can be quite a powerful tool in accelerating a lot of, especially in marketing, but across a number of different areas.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when it says, being a construction champion is not just about doing the projects, it's about leaving this lasting reputation, the employees, the customers, all of that. What does that mean to you? What do you think? How do we do that as an industry?
Yeah, I think it comes back to just being committed to always improving and learning from others, learning from your mistakes, learning from your journey as you go. And that, I mean, that obviously plays out in a number of different ways. But I think, yeah, like what we see a lot of the time, the builders, contractors out there that have the biggest commitment to always improving themselves and their company tend to have the best results.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do anything without wanting to be better. It's kind of the fundamental. And you guys do this at a really high level. I know I've gotten to spend some time with you, and you guys do an amazing job of really just at a high level saying, like, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to do it right. And I think that is what being a construction champion is to just not be afraid to do it the right way and leave that lasting impression, which I think a lot of leaving that lasting impression and building that company for those employees and everybody around you really falls right into your wheelhouse of marketing, because it really is. How do you market that to your customers? How do you market that to your employees? Or how do you just say, hey, we are a championship company here and we want to put that foot forward?
Yeah, I mean, we have a mantra where we recommend that the builders we work with, residential construction companies, invest 3% of their revenue into marketing. And a lot of people are thrown back by that because it seems like a lot of money, especially for a building company doing 10, 20 million or more. That's a big chunk of change. But the research we've done with the state of residential construction industry survey and report that we've published for the last 4 years, it actually ties that investment into marketing back to margins and performance of the business as well. So builders that invest 3% of their revenue into marketing actually statistically have higher net margins across the board. So, I mean, that alone just kind of reinforces this thought process of investing in marketing and investing in the future of your building company. And unfortunately, one huge mistake that we see a lot of builders make, and it's often the reason they come to us, is they need more leads. They don't have enough lead flow coming in to, generate the opportunities they need to generate. And so they end up taking whatever they can get and reducing their margins because of that. And it just creates this cycle of issues. But one of the big mistakes is they think that marketing is something you can just turn on and off whenever you need it. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that. You need to be consistently investing into marketing your company so that you're getting consistent lead flow and also able to focus on those top quality leads. Therefore, you can, work with the clients you want to work with, but also charge higher margins while you're doing it.
Yeah, marketing is not something that you can just turn on and off in the construction industry. I hate when I hear that, like when people when that's like the mindset around it. And you said 3%, correct?
Yeah, that's that's statistically the sweet spot. But we recommend anywhere between 1 to 3. I mean, especially if you're maybe not investing anything in marketing at the moment or a very small portion, then getting yourself up to somewhere to around 1% would be a good objective to start out.
Yeah, we used to run about 5 to 10, depending. But we wanted to be the leader. We wanted to be known, and we didn't want to be reliant on anything else. Like, it was all about creating self-generated leads. And I think too many people don't really understand what the return is on that investment, and it compounds like year over year. The money you're spending on marketing for your company outside of having to buy leads is a compounding thing. This reputation you build up is brand recognition. You start to become the company around, and that leads to what you're talking about. It's those higher profit margins, the better jobs, being able to take on the work you want to do and say no to the work you don't want to do.
Mm. Well, we're in a very referral based industry, right? So if in a hot market, referrals are probably enough to get a lot of building companies buy. But as soon as it starts to soften, that's when the builders are going, well, where am I? Like, I don't have any leads coming in now. How can I turn my marketing on? And you're kind of chasing your tail at that point if you've left it that long. The best time to invest in marketing is during a hot market when you have enough leads already coming in from referrals.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that, because it's just like anything. The worst time to do it is when you're in a crunch. Whether you need money or you need leads or you need workers or you need help running your business, like the worst time to have to do that is when you're in a crunch. I'm sure that's what you'd probably deal with that a lot, because people probably are coming to you, not necessarily proactively, and they're trying to figure out how do we get this thing rolling, when the best time is just to feed something that's already rolling.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it just from a common sense point of view, if you've got 100 leads and you've only got so much time you can focus your energy of your sales team on, then you need a way to categorize those leads and then talk to the ones that are most likely to become, that type of client that you want to work with, who you're building the projects you want to build and the margins you want to charge. But if you've only got 10 leads, then maybe you can only focus, you have to focus on all of them, and you end up working with ones you don't want to work with. So, it's just an engine which needs to continue going so that you're always focusing on the top, 2 to 3% of your energy on the right areas.
Yeah, and we're talking about that this is the top of funnel of that engine. And once you get this right, it just becomes a numbers game. Because once you understand how to bring in leads and continue to do the right marketing, then you can basically just say, I want to do X amount of revenue at whatever profit margins. And you can break that right on down as we need this many leads, close at this amount. Like it really starts to become, if you could say business is simple, but once you can start controlling that lead flow and understanding it, it really does start to allow you to be able to just throw the numbers at the board and say, hey, we're going to bring in this many leads. That means we can do X revenue.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where you want to get to. You want to get to a position where you understand your numbers so well that you can make decisions based on that data, because to get to that level, it takes quite a fair bit of work and understanding of, the journey of a typical customer and how you categorize them from each stage on that journey. And that's not easy to necessarily understand if you've not done it before. So it's a tricky kind of chicken or egg situation, which I can understand from the builder's perspective as well. If they've come from a position of, referrals and having a relatively small building company and then looking to grow that out, it's a totally different way of running things. And you need a systematic approach, like you mentioned there, to marketing and sales.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're systems will win it at the end of the day. Like whether it's a sales system or operations system, like just having an understanding of that is, I think, just some of the core fundamentals that allow people to go be champions.
Yeah. I mean, another thing that to be aware of is when we say invest 3% of money, revenue into marketing, you don't want to just throw that at the wall. You know what I mean? So you don't want to just go and set up an ad on Facebook or Google or something like that and just spend and spend and spend. You need to have your house built, to use a metaphor from the industry, before you can start to invest in marketing. And part of that is, making sure you've got your data feeding into a CRM system where you can, like a customer relationship management system, so you can track all of the life cycle stages of a customer and optimize your spend according to that. That's a crucial part. But you also need to make sure that you understand exactly who your clients are, your customers are, what problems they face, what their fears are, how you can help, alleviate those things through the whole sales process, because that's going to drive a lot of your content for your marketing and your messaging in your advertising and things like that. Without that knowledge about your client and how you position yourself in the market, you can waste a lot of money without getting any results. So it's not as easy to say just turn some ads on and you can consistently get numbers in, and then you can, you convert a certain amount. If, for example, you build homes in Florida, if you just start advertising, I build homes in Florida, use me as your builder kind of thing. Sure, you might get lucky with a few leads, but what's going to be much more compelling is if you find, a really specific niche, like maybe you build concrete homes in Florida, and maybe you're focused specifically on, couples that are building their second home in their journey or something like that, and they've got a specific budget to work with, and they live in a certain part of Florida and things like this. Like, the understanding all of those nuances and specific components of the exact type of person you want to work with, where they are, and how you can position your message to actually engage with their fears and problems, is critical to getting a good return from investing in marketing. So without those things in place first, investing in marketing is actually just a waste of money.
Yeah. No, I love that, because what is that? Like, that's the truth. Is like, if we too often we hear like, well, we'll just throw some money at something, we'll pick up some kind of job, and like, that's the death cycle. Like, stop figuring out who you want to work with. Stop figuring out what kind of projects you want to do. What do you specialize in? What do you turn the best margins on, and stop focusing your marketing towards some of that. And I think guys miss the boat on that, and they just, like you said, just throw something up. Something will land. It will keep us rocking and rolling. And there's this marketing's very proactive, but we look at it really retroactive. Like, when we should be thinking about it on the front end and not thinking about it when the leads start to dry up, like you referenced earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Proactive marketing is always going to, bear fruit in the longer term, but it is challenging. I mean, you've got to be empathetic towards business owners, right? Like, they're juggling so many balls in their, in everything that they're trying to manage, from projects to finances to marketing to sales, team and everything like that coming in and out of the business. And there is a lot to deal with, and it can be quite stressful, especially if you don't have, as many jobs in the calendar as you'd like. So investing in marketing from that position can be quite a frightening situation, because you might feel like you run out of money at some point. So it's not simple. It's not an easy, or you need to invest in marketing. I appreciate that, but you need to get to a position where you can invest in marketing by just, building up slowly, kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's why you have yourself. Like, it's what you guys do, is help build this stuff up. I think you touched on something that once again, we don't address enough, is like, it's hard, it's complicated. When you're out there and you have to do everything, it can be really overwhelming, but there are resources to help with that. So you don't have to necessarily bring somebody on for time, but you have the ability to be able to get some help and get some relief, or at least guidance in what you should be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you touched on it there. And when Russ Stevens, our co-founder, was on your podcast as well recently, he spoke about the importance of systems and making sure, you had a profitable business model in place first before, looking to scale, looking to grow. And I think you mentioned something similar. And that ties into the marketing conversation as well. You've really got to have your house in order, not just from a understanding your customer perspective, but also understanding how your business can be profitable, and how you mark up jobs and all of that kind of stuff. So you can confidently invest in marketing, knowing that, it's going to actually come out on the back end. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to: getting your systems right first, getting a profitable business model in place, and then investing in marketing from a point of strength.
I love it. I love your approach to this, because it's not like we're just going to go market to market. Like, let's make sure let's make sure you're in the right place to be able to handle what we're going to bring in here. And that can be a missing component when people go out and they say they just go out and they hire a marketing company. That marketing company's not looking at all the like, are they even going to, if I brought in 100 leads, are they even going to be able to handle these?
Yeah.
Instead of just, and you look at it from a holistic perspective. And to me, that's very refreshing. in a marketing conversation like what we're having here, because that's typically not what marketers talk about. They just talk about how are we going to generate leads? Where are we going to spend this money?
Yeah, well, we focus primarily on residential construction, but marketing and construction in general is very unique. I mean, you're looking at long sales cycles. You're looking at typically geographically restricted areas that you're working in, so you can't, it's not like you can get leads for everywhere across the country. And there's a number of other complications which are involved. I mean, it's a high investment from the person you're trying to attract, so you've got to really nurture them and build trust with them as well. And most marketing agencies that you'll work with might, sell you this big dream on how many leads they're going to get you. But I mean, you've really got to do your due diligence on which agency you work with. And in saying that, working with an agency can be a great benefit to a construction company because, as you said, you can't be hiring every position all the time. And working with an expert that does understand how to get results can be a really good way to go about it. But you've got to make sure they do understand marketing in this industry because it is quite unique.
Yeah, it's the construction industry is definitely unique. And you want to always make sure no matter what you're going out and getting an expert in, you want to make sure they have some experience in the construction industry. You don't want to be the reason why they're learning. Like too often people let people learn on their dime, and that's not a good way to go about it because a lot of us can't afford to have somebody learning off of our dime. And there's a lot of great people out there that understand the construction industry.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so many nuances to consider. So, for example, like the average small builder might only invest $5,000 to $10,000 a month into, Facebook or Google Ads or something like that. And if you're only investing that amount or even less, like some will invest less depending on the geographic targeting that they're looking at. Working with a marketing agency, they're taking a management fee as well, which is probably $1,000 to $1,500 in itself. So to make that a profitable relationship you really need to understand your numbers from that perspective to know that, okay, if I've got this management fee with a marketing agency and then I'm investing this much into advertising, I'm going to get this many leads. I know that if I get this many leads that, a portion of those will be qualified and they'll go into sales conversations. And I know that our sales team can close, one or two of those out of 100 leads or whatever it is. Knowing those numbers is so important to invest with anything when it comes to marketing and working with a marketing agency.
Yeah, no, no replacement for knowing your numbers and being able to understand what exactly. I think guys don't understand what exactly would it look like if 100 leads came in. What would that actually funnel down to? And there's just not enough guys could do that math and have that understanding for their business.
Well, I mean, you need to know your numbers based on historical data with your own company, really. That's the only way you can know 100% over time what a good conversion rate is, et cetera, et cetera. But typically in residential construction, you're probably looking at about one contract per 100 leads, I think, coming from paid advertising is a fair way to look at it. And that's obviously, breaking it all down through the funnel from there. So it's not a bad market to work towards.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. I love it. I mean, you're super.
Obviously, referrals convert much better than paid advertising. But yeah, if you're looking at just people that don't know who you are coming in from a cold audience, that's a pretty good ratio to look at.
Yeah, and like I said, I love it, man. You know your stuff. You know your stuff from a high level. What we originally started with when I said you guys do stuff at a high level and have a really good understanding, a really good grasp on the residential construction space and what it takes to be successful in it. And I love that. It's been a great conversation. I loved having you on the show here today. For all the champions out there listening, if they wanted to connect with you, where would be the best place for them to do that?
Yeah, so associationofprofessionalbuilders.com is a great place to go and check out what we're doing. If you want some specific resources around marketing, and this is not something we spoke about before, Ron, but We do have a new free resource, which I can send you a link to. It's called the Builders Marketing Audit. And it's just a really, it's a checklist which goes through all of the different areas of marketing within your building company and just basically gives you a benchmark of where you're sitting and where maybe the gaps might be in your strategy. So that could be a great starting point if people are looking to learn more about marketing.
I love it. I love when people come on and they offer free resources that like get the give some people some feedback and to have an understanding of where they're currently at. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And I really appreciate coming on. I've had a fun chat. I could talk about marketing for hours on end. So, but yeah, no, really happy to come on and share whatever I could with the audience. Hope there was a bit of value there.
There 100% was. I love it. I appreciate it. And like I said, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, construction champions, another fantastic episode in the bags. Well, the question is what are you doing for marketing? Are you proactively marketing? Are you not marketing? Are you just saying there's enough work? We've all heard this forever. It's like, there's enough work out there. I don't ever have to do anything. That's not 100% true. As you continue to grow your business and you want to have a better understanding of this stuff, that mentality is not a championship mentality. And I know if you're listening to this podcast, it's because you want to be better at your craft. You want to be better at what you deliver for your customers, your employees, everybody involved in the cycle. So, I mean, I was going to say you need to go evaluate what exactly do you think would happen if 100 leads came in tomorrow, what that would look like for your business. Besides, you probably run around like a chicken with your head cut off. But Will just offered up that free resource to go actually take a survey and have a better understanding on where you're at. And one thing I know about Will and what they do is they really put top-notch stuff out there. So I know you're going to go check that out, and it's really going to let you know where you fall in the appropriate places and give you a baseline to have some understanding. And I think that's one of the greatest things we can have for anything we do, whether it's marketing, hiring, the work, operations, profit margins, if we just get a baseline of where we're at right now, we could start to understand what we need to do to get better. But the longer we put off on actually having that baseline and understanding it, the longer we're dragging on the inevitable truth that something's eventually going to break. So construction champions, make sure you go check out all of our fantastic sponsors. And until next time, be the champion you were meant to be.
Tired of losing track of promising leads? Struggling to convert inquiries into contracts? Build 12 is your solution. Over 30 years of industry expertise tailored for contractors ensures seamless lead management and nurturing. Boost your closing rate with ease. Experience the efficiency today. Download Build 12 and supercharge your business growth. Don't wait, act now.
Unlock the potential of property intelligence with HomeTrack. In seconds, generate over 250 data points from a single address using advanced imaging and public data. Streamline property assessments efficiently, saving both time and resources. Enhance your decision-making today. Experience the future of property insights. Engage with HomeTrack now.